It's been almost 9 months since Apple released the iPhone 12 Pro Max and I started using it, and today I want to do a follow-up real-world review covering all the changes and fixes that have happened in that time, and believe me, there are a lot of them, and cover what is keeping me using this device instead of a really great Android alternative and what's keeping me trapped. But with that, new issues that have come up and possibly defective issues with at least my iPhone and maybe yours as well. Some of these things have really surprised me, and I think they'll be great news for you guys as well. And I'm just gonna focus on real world things. I'm gonna skip specs and all of that. So let's get started and talk about the design and the durability. I honestly have been very impressed. I go caseless with my phones. I do use a wallet. I've recently switched over to the Moft one, which we didn't really do a review on, but this thing is fantastic. It works as a stand. It's easier to get your cards out. It fits one additional card compared to Apple's. I love this thing, but even without it, with this phone falling probably about 5 to 6 times, the edges look so clean. I have one bump on one corner and it's not even that noticeable. And one thing that I've noticed is that the gold stainless steel coating is much more durable than before. I have very little micro scratches, and the same thing goes on the back. This coating right here is very durable. That could also be the design, the square edges that are helping, but overall I am very pleased. And as far as the front, no cracks, anything like that. Now I do have one crack, a very unfortunate one, and it is right there on the main lens. I think that was just really poor luck, and that is something that you can get swapped out by itself. You don't have to swap out the whole back. But other than that, durability has been awesome. And as far as the square edge design, that was a huge change for Apple. I still am really digging it. The amount of grip that you have, even without a case, is really good. The back is still slick, but overall it feels great in the hand, and I don't regret the change coming from the previous round edge design. And since we touched on the cameras, let's go ahead and talk about what has changed. When Apple announced this phone, they showed off the extra 2.5x zoom, the sensor stabilization, and people wanted to buy the larger size because of the extra camera benefits that you couldn't get with the smaller ones. Well, in our videos, we showed off that the quality wasn't that much better and there were other downsides. For example, the extra sensor size causes warping for close-up photos and you can't focus as closely. That has been an issue for me. And with the telephoto lens, the quality isn't that much better and it also can't focus as closely. So in this last 9 months, I really haven't been using the telephoto camera as much as I did with the iPhone 11, and I'm doing portrait shots mainly with the main lens. Now on top of that, the competition has gotten so good, both with similarly priced phones and cheaper ones, where the quality looks great, the software is consistent, and they have other features such as the telescopic cameras where it can zoom in very close and still get insane quality photos. You can shoot 8K video that actually looks good now, and with the larger megapixel sensors, you can get much more detail and good lighting. So because of that, multiple times I've been tempted to just go and switch to those if I'm traveling somewhere and I want to get the best photos from a smartphone. So overall, I would just say that based on this and the updates they made, I've just been a little bit disappointed, and there's really not a big reason to go with this higher end one, and even limitations compared to previous iPhone. And now let's talk about something that I'm just really surprised by how much of a difference it made in my everyday life with the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, and that is MagSafe. After 9 months, I absolutely love it, and that is one reason why I haven't switched over to this, because when you're traveling, when you have a charger, when you have the car mount, it's just so convenient to be able to pop up your phone on your charger at home. Like for example, I have the 3-in-1, pop it off if you want to grab it in bed, pop it back on, it charges, it works every time because it's aligned. With that, gives you the ability to just snap a wallet there and have everything in one pocket. It's just been such a big convenience to me that it would be hard to switch to anything else, and it really makes a difference in convenience day to day. And now let's touch on probably the biggest advertised feature with the new iPhones, another first for the iPhone 12s, and that is 5G. Now, right out of the gate, the speeds were so much faster than the previous iPhones. It was incredible. And also the reception was better. So places like my church, where I got pretty much no reception or super slow speeds outside, got much faster. Honestly, it has only gotten better. Speeds have gotten faster in other areas where I didn't previously have coverage with new updated 5G antennas. And I'm talking about not high band, super fast speed that kind of goes away if you go around a corner. I'm talking about mid band and low band. Rural areas have better coverage, and I think this is probably the same case all across the US with all carriers. After 9 months, it's better. Give it another year, it's gonna be even better. Now, before we cover the biggest issue that I have with the new iPhone, specifically the 12 Pro Max, that has not only been irritating me like crazy last month, but actually cost me money, let's talk about another new piece of hardware that has improved the iPhone within its lifespan. That is the AirTags. Now, of course, these things can be used with any iPhone, with older iPhones as well, but with the latest ones, you get the extra features such as the visual navigation. And I have to say, these things really help Apple's ecosystem, and they make it much harder to go from an iPhone and switch over to something like a Samsung, even though I would like to. Previously, you had iMessage, you had the Apple Watch, but now with MagSafe and AirTags, this phone is just incredible. They're cheap, they work well. I have a bunch of them. I have them on objects such as my boat, so that if somebody steals it, I can actually find it. It's just hidden there. I have them in my bags. And the greatest thing that happened lately was with the beta iOS 15, it will actually give you notifications if you leave not only AirTags, so if you leave your keys or something else, your bag somewhere, but also things like your iPad and other Apple accessories. And that just makes it so nice to use an iPhone compared to something else. And now for the biggest issue that is making me literally want to leave this phone and just downgrade to an iPhone 12, that is the display. And it's not really an issue with the display itself. The display is beautiful. HDR video looks amazing on it. Manual brightness, when you turn it all the way up, is great. This is Apple's best display, but my issue is with this largest display. For example, this display gets really bright, but if you start gaming on it, after not that long, it will dim. And if you're outside gaming or in a bright room, that can be an issue. And that is actually something that doesn't happen with the iPhone 12 mini, and it's much less of an issue with the iPhone 12. Now, I think that is probably because of the display being much larger, extra pixels, and that means extra heat. And it is really becoming an issue, especially in the last month. We're out here in summer now, it's getting hotter, and I'm having so many issues. For example, when I'm driving in my truck and it's a hotter day, I have it set up on MagSafe, it's charging there, it's really nice to use, but the screen will end up dimming, and it'll dim so much so that it gets kind of dark to see, and that's something that you wouldn't have with other phones. And then with that, I was using it last weekend with my drone, and because of the sun and because it's plugged in, it got so hot and warm that the screen was so dim that I literally could barely see it outside. And I was flying in a remote area, but I did end up crashing my drone, and the repair is about $400 to get that fixed. And I've been flying drones for 8 to 10 years. I don't crash drones. I'm very careful, but the screen just dimmed down. My drone was in the air and I couldn't see it. And luckily I was able to recover it, but that is just such an annoying issue. And it's just frustrating enough, and it's happening often enough now that I'm wondering, is my iPhone 12 Pro Max defective? Or maybe other people are having that issue as well. You guys let me know down in the comments section. And I think that's inexcusable in this age where other phones are having, they're having graphite cooling, they're having vapor chamber cooling. It's a non-issue with high-end phones, but iPhone's most expensive phone is having this issue much worse than their iPhone 11 did. And now for something that really surprised me lately, and that is longevity of the battery. I thought maybe my battery is going bad, maybe that's why I was getting so hot and dimming, but I went into battery health and I'm getting a solid 100% battery health. Whereas this time last year, my iPhone 11 Pro Max was probably around 92, 91. And then at the 1 year mark, when I switched to this one, it was at 88%. And so far, after 9 months, I'm still at 100. Now that is because Apple added that optimized charging feature, which will only charge it to 80%, and then they'll finish the last 20 right before you need it. And this just proves that Apple's feature and update has really helped this latest iPhone. Now, overall, as you guys heard, most things have been really positive. Let me know your guys' thoughts if you're somebody that bought one of these phones or if you're somebody that wants to buy one, what your thoughts are. Go ahead and comment down below. Click that circle to subscribe if you guys want to help us reach 1 million subscribers before the end of the year. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Max, and I'll see you in the next video.